Yay!
Oh!
We got it.
Those are some men right there. That's a man.
Yeah, that's a man.
This is going to be my new phone background, I think. Yay, Michael B., I hope you see this video. The bark. Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl. We're here at iHeartRadio in New York City, and we have today joining us Adam Lambert. Can we give it up for Adam?
Thank you.
It's funny because you're here at iHeart, but you just discovered there was a picture of you hanging in the bathroom.
In the
right?
bathroom, welcoming me to the men's room. I was like, oh, look at that's like young me going like, I hope everything comes out all right.
I love it. You're here. You're bringing the drama.
That's me.
Always. And we're celebrating your new album, High Drama. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank
This
you.
is such a cool album, an album of covers.
Yeah.
You have such a rich musical history, influence. How did you decide what you wanted to include on this album of covers?
You know, there was like a long list. It took a while to narrow it down, but I had some criteria. I was like, okay, it has to be, all these songs need to be songs that could have been written about my own life. You know, I want to be able to relate to them authentically and emotionally. I knew that they all had to be songs that I could completely reinvent and rework, or else what was the point of putting them on the album? It's not a karaoke party, you know what I mean? It's like
this is a full Adam Lambert reimagined.
Yeah, and I had so much fun working in the studio with these producers. It's a real creative challenge to take something and try to like completely change it up.
Yeah. It was so fun to listen to because you have, like I said, a wide range. First on is Holding Out for a Hero, Bonnie Tyler. It's so funny when I was listening to that, I'm like, wait, I recognize this from Shrek. You know, but I never spent like a lot of time with the original version, but I think that's what's so cool about this album is we get to reimagine it, but also like pay homage to those other ones on there.
Yeah.
And then you have Duran Duran next to Billie Eilish. For you crafting this list, I know you just said this, were there certain songs that you also wanted to include that maybe didn't make it from, you know, older artists to newer artists?
There were a couple, but we were like, you know, we did this thing in like 2 months. It was a very quick turnaround.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
So we were very careful with the planning. We didn't waste a lot of time in the studio. I think we tried Spin Me Right Round by Dead or Alive, like for a couple hours, and it didn't feel right, and that one didn't make the cut.
Sure, this one's done.
Yeah.
Were there any ones on the album that you were like nervous to cover or nervous to reimagine?
Well, I'm actually friendly with Boy George.
No
yeah, we've
way.
become friends. So I was, you know, doing Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? I was a little bit like, oh God, I hope he likes it, because we went very drastically different with the feel of it.
Yeah.
And so I waited until I was done with it. It was sent to him, and he likes it, which is really, really nice to hear.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And we're talking about the album, High Drama. What does high drama mean to you? Like, how would you define that?
I mean, I think it's just a good way to kind of describe my style of performing, you know, and sort of the style of what we did on this album. I'm not known for being, you know, subtle. I like a look, you know, I like being over the top.
I like that your team laughed at that too.
Yeah, they know. And yeah, it's just, you know, all the songs we you know, whether it was the lyrical content or the sound of the track, we all agreed that they would all have these dramatic flares to them.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted theatricality and emotional grandeur, you know?
Growing up, did you always have a flair for the dramatics?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think every day was Halloween for me for a good few years.
That's such a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Do your family and friends have like a favorite story of you, like maybe like at your youngest leaning into the high drama? Is there one that they like to tell?
I mean, you know, I was like a theater kid, so I was like always listening to like show tunes when I was a kid, you know, and like singing them in the mirror and putting on, you know, sheets around my, you know, like I was such a nerd, you know, and I still am a big nerd, but that's evident on this album. I love being over the top. I love like going for it. And it's, you know, like with Holding Out for a Hero as the first track, it's like kind of guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
you know, I really love camp. I love being like a tongue-in-cheek and sort of ridiculous. And there's always sort of a joke in the back of my mind. So I'm hoping that kind of translates on this album.
It's funny, even listening to it this morning, getting ready to it, like I feel like I was like having a full like movie trailer moment. Like I was like singing in my hairbrush. You're right, it's so fun.
It's fun, yeah.
It's really fun.
Even the songs that are maybe darker or more dramatic, I mean, there's an element of play to it.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's one thing I also love about you is like, I feel like you're not afraid to take risk in your style and your beauty, like in your makeup routine. I know for me, it took me a long time to cultivate my style and how I wanted to present myself. I'm curious, what was that journey like for you? How did you, come to this, like to define Adam Lambert's style?
I think I'm not really into anything that's like regular. You know, I'm always drawn to things that feel special or they stand out from the norm. And I think that I kind of follow that philosophy in a lot of different ways in my life. I like to be different. I like to express myself in ways that makes a statement, you know? And so like when it comes to wardrobe or hair or makeup or, you know, the things I'm listening to or my interests, it's usually like left of center.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I noticed I have to tell you is this watch. Can we talk about this watch? I feel like this is a perfect example.
Thank you.
I've never seen one like that.
It's like the Emerald City, isn't it? Yeah.
It's so funny. When we were prepping for this interview, I was talking to my producer, John, and one thing he talked about is, you know, watching you on American Idol that first season and how you kind of opened doors to this new way of presenting yourself and being on stage and being yourself. At that time, did you realize what you were doing for so many people? And again, so many of my friends in the gay community have talked about that and how important that was for them. Did you realize that at the time?
You know, I think as it was happening, I don't know if I did. I was just being me, you know? But I think right after the show, seeing what the kind of ripple effect was and the impact and sort of the response from my own community, from people outside of my community, it was a big eye-opener. It was like, oh, right. You know, 2009, it was a very pivotal time in like our journey as queer people in America. And there were a lot of things kind of in play. There were, you know, marriage equality was being worked towards. You know, you had in pop culture, you know, on TV and in film, there were stories coming out finally about queer people. It was a turning point. And so to come out onto the music scene at that point was very interesting because, you know, I was doing pop radio and there weren't any other gay guys, you know? So it was, I knew that it was exciting because it was like something fresh and it was something that sort of needed to be done. And I can look back now and realize that like 13 years later, it's changed so much.
Wow, it's been 13 years.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was like, I did have support, but there was a lot of unknowns, you know? There were a lot of people kind of going, is this gonna work? We don't know. And they were a little like doubtful or hesitant, you know, in the industry. But I had great fans, so that helped a lot.
You do have great fans.
That helped a lot. And, you know, I guess I just kind of held on for dear life. And just kept going for it. Yeah, I'm still hanging on. Yeah, exactly.
For you growing up, did you have, you know, like a queer role model or inspiration or someone in the music industry where you're like, okay, I can see myself in this. Like this is helping me. Like you're doing for someone, you know?
There wasn't a lot, but I remember being a kid and like being aware of Elton John, for example. Somebody that, you know, because I remember being a kid and listening to like Lion King, right? So that was my first exposure to Elton John. And then in the 90s, like hearing about George Michael being outed. And I remember being a fan of George Michael. So there were like people, you know, around, but I didn't really see anybody that was like my age, for example, when I was like a teenager growing up. Maybe like, there was a couple TV shows with a couple of gay characters here or there, but in music, no. Not queer people anyway.
What about now? Anyone you're really inspired by?
Well, I've been like blown away by what Lil Nas X has pulled off. I mean, he's so great, and clearly done with like tongue in cheek. You know, he's funny, he's bold, he's fearless. I love that rock star, that vibe, that rock star vibe of his.
Very similar.
I think he's very cool.
Let's go back to High Drama for a second. The production of the album. I mean, you said you did this in 2 months, which is insane to me. But like, walk me through what that process looked like in the studio building this album.
It started in LA, and I wanted to work with a producer named Tommy English, who I worked with on my last album, because I had a great time with him. And it was a very organic experience. We brought in some musicians. We knew what songs we wanted to start with. The first one we actually did was Getting Older.
Oh, really?
And
that's one of my favorites.
Thank you. I love the lyrics of that song.
Yes,
I mean, it's just like no matter how old you are, you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
So we were like kind of playing with it. We didn't really know how we wanted to approach it, and it just slowly started to organically come together. And I realized that we were sort of leaning into sort of 70s sort of glam pop things. You know, and coming from Queen, it felt like it made sense. And I could hear the background harmonies in my head, and I sung them to him, and I said, yeah, we'll stack them up like kind of like Queen. And he went, aha, and he pulled his guitar out and added some sort of you know, Brian May-esque flourishes, and it sort of became what it was. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then outside of this album, you're also a judge on Starstruck in the UK, which is so exciting. The new season's starting soon, right?
It just started a couple weeks ago, For
our American audience, tell us a little bit about this show.
It's really fun.
Is it fun? Okay.
I am a judge, but it's a much lighter weight show than some of the other ones you might be familiar with, because these aren't people coming on to get like a record deal. It's more just a celebration. It's a game. They are transformed for the night into their favorite artists, and they are performing as that artist. So there's teams of 3, all doing the same artist, and they get kind of transformed into different eras of that artist. They sing as a group. There's a few different groups that perform each night. We as judges pick who our favorite group is, and then those 3 people sing off against each other with another song,
so
and the
this is
audience
layered.
chooses which 3 they like, or which of the 3 they like, yeah.
Oh, if you were gonna be on that show, who would you want to transform into?
You know, I always think Elvis would be kind of fun. I think that would be a fun one, yeah. Yeah, Elvis would be good. I think I would get into that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, so the album is out now, you have this. I'm sure as an artist you never stop dreaming. Is there other projects that you want to do, anything that you want to do in the future that's on the horizon for you?
I got a bunch of stuff on the
give
back
us the
burner
full
right
rundown.
now. I'm working on a musical actually. Yeah, I'm writing a musical.
tell us?
I'm not ready to tell all of it, but it
Okay.
is a true story. It's based in New York in the 1970s. The music is sort of a love letter, like all the music I love from the 70s, you know, glam rock and funk and disco and all of it, soul. And it's very queer, and a lot of the themes of it are things that I feel very deeply about, and yeah, I think it's gonna be really exciting.
It's interesting. Did this happen simultaneous with the album, or were they influencing each other at the same time?
Well, right as the pandemic started and we all went into lockdown, I had put out an album, and it came out like the week everything got canceled. So it was like, okay, that's done, you know, that got cut short. So a couple like weeks after that, when I was sort of, you know, done mourning, I started working on this project that I had pitched some production people in London, like 6 months before that, and started writing the music, doing Zoom sessions with producers and co-writers. So it was all done on Zoom, which is not the same as being in the room, but it was still productive, and we got almost an entire score written in, you know, probably about 8 months. And now the script is being developed by a New York playwright.
Wow.
And because the process of the musical is such a kind of a drawn out thing, because you have lots of different people involved, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this cover album, because I thought, okay, I'm still working on this, but I really want to get some music out. Let me do it right now. Let me do it fast. And yeah, that's why we did it.
So fun.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure, are you getting to play this album live anywhere? Like, I'd love to see this live.
We actually just did a show in London at Coco in Camden.
was
It was
it?
the entire album. It was so much fun.
Oh my God, I love that.
It was so much fun. There's some more shows coming up this summer. I'm
Yeah.
really excited. Royal Albert Hall in London just got announced. I'm sure I'll do something over here, you know.
Please come back to New York and see us. I know you're bringing the drama, so we thought we could play a little high drama game.
Amazing.
If you're down.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so the way this game is gonna work, we're gonna have our producers fly in, but we have a lot of trending headlines that are happening in the news right now.
Okay.
Very dramatic.
Oh,
so
perfect.
I'm gonna give you the headline, we're gonna throw some pictures up on screen, and we're gonna pair that headline with a song title from your album.
I love it.
All right, so are we ready? Number 1, Ariana DeVos BAFTA performance, the most dramatic song ever, an ode to women that we get some cheers in the back, that also became the meme of the century. So we have Ariana just absolutely crushing it on stage.
I love her.
Right?
I just love her.
So we're gonna pair this with a song. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got mine. All right, Ariana, this one's for you. What did you think of this performance, by the way?
I mean, I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, I think she was just having a good time. I don't really understand why everybody takes everything so literally in our culture right now. I'm like, what's the problem? She was just like having a laugh.
Having
like,
fun.
why are people mad? I don't get it.
Agreed. And that goes into my answer for this one. Okay, are you
Same.
ready? Let's
Same.
show the camera in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Holding out for our hero, the hero we needed. Do you really want to?
Which I think she's asking. She's like, what's
You're
the
right.
problem? Why are you guys so mean?
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
You're so right. Okay, I love that one. All right. Are we ready for number 2?
Yes.
The new Creed 3 movie poster just dropped. Okay, Jonathan Majors, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
There we go. This is gonna be my new phone background, I think. My baby, Michael B. Jordan. Okay, so. Okay, so I have a couple for this. All right, we're gonna pair this with a song. Okay, I've got mine. Do you have yours?
Yes.
All right, let's show the camera in 3, 2, 1.
Yay! We got it.
Those are some men right there. That's a man.
Yeah, that's a man.
All right.
I want to see that.
We have another movie poster in light of movies. The Banshees of Inisherin. Did you see it? 9
No,
Oscar noms.
I
Best
didn't.
Picture. I did see it, and I have some thoughts. I have thoughts.
Okay.
Okay, so Banshees and Inisherin, here we go. What did you say for this one? I said
Because I think that's how you have to enjoy the movie, is if, it's for people that are getting older.
I'm gonna be honest, my thoughts exactly.
Or that's how long it is. Yeah, exactly.
A few things about that. All right, speaking of Michael B. Jordan, as you might have seen, he is the new face of the Calvin Klein ad, and we have his picture pulled up here.
Oh my, he's back.
I promise I didn't choose all these photos, okay?
I know which one I'm gonna do for this one, shoot.
Okay, me too. All right, easy. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I knew it! Adam, we're in sync. Sex on fire. Okay, Michael B., I hope you see this video. The park. All right, I think we have time to do a few more. Okay, what about we have the very final season of Succession. Do you watch Succession?
Yes, I watched Succession.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, what are you thinking of the final season? Are you excited for the season? It comes out March 26th.
I am. I gotta be honest, I kind of lost steam on the last season.
I did too.
I was like, it's brilliant, but maybe I need to give it another look.
Okay, I felt the same way, but it's interesting that this is rounding it all out. I'm curious.
I mean, they're all really good actors.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Agreed. I feel like I have a couple favorite characters, and I'm excited to see some redemption arcs. So for that, I said, holding out for a hero.
Okay.
Because maybe we can have some redeeming characters. Maybe we can have one we like. What would you say?
My attic.
Oh.
Because they have some they have a lot of skeletons in their closet. It's a lot of dirty laundry. It's a lot of shade that they're hiding, and it's sneaky.
Ooh, some skeletons. Okay, all right, you're right. Okay, this is very metaphoric. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's all we have time for, Adam. This was such a fun game. I had a whole list. This is so fun.
It was fun.
Thank you for everything.
Can
we give it up one more time for Adam Lambert here in our studio?
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Adam. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you stream all of Adam's music on iHeartRadio, and we will see you next time where we'll be back bringing the drama, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye, guys.